Okay, so we just finished reading the book. Who remembers the title of the book? Anybody? No? The Three Little Pigs. Remember? We just finished reading it, okay? So now I'm going to ask you some questions about the story that we read, okay? So we're going to talk about how to answer the questions. I know that some of you, you're confused when I ask you a question and you don't know how to answer the question, right? I know. So now today we're going to talk about how you answer the questions that I'm asking, okay? So the first part, the first WH question that we're going to talk about is who, okay? So if somebody asks you a who question, how are you supposed to answer that? Do you know? Well, who is always a person. It doesn't matter who asks you, doesn't matter what it's about. Who questions are always going to have a person answer. So if I asked you, who gave you that book? You would tell me a person that gave you the book. Or if I asked you about, who was in the story, then you're going to tell me names of the people inside the story, okay? So, who is always going to be a person or people, okay? So if I ask you a who question, it's a person. Answer with a person's name, okay? So the question that I have, who is the story about? Who is the story about? Do you know? The title of the book is The Three Little Pigs. Who is the story about? Yeah, the Three Little Pigs. Pig 1, Pig 2, Pig 3. Right, good job. So that's how to answer a who question, okay? Okay, so now you know how to answer a who question, So now we're going to talk about what. How do you answer a what question? Does anybody know? A what question is always going to be a person, an action, or a thing. It's not always a person, because if they want to know a person, they're going to ask a who question. But sometimes it happens that the answer to that question can be a person, okay? But if I ask what, your answer is going to be an action or a thing, okay? So let's think back to the story, okay? My question now is, what did the pigs build? So we know that the pigs left, and there were 3. And then they bought something to build what? Do you remember? What did they build in the story? But? Right, can you tell me that in a sentence, please? The pigs built a house. Did they all build the same house? No, they didn't all build the same house. So pig 1 built a straw house. Pig 2 built a stick house. And then pig 3 built a what? A brick house. So that's a what question. What did the pigs build? Okay. Remember, if it's if it's a wet, what did the pigs build? You're gonna answer with an action or a thing. The house in the story is a thing. It's not an action. They built, that's an action. That's what they did. But what they built, the house, is a thing. So you answered the what question with a thing. Okay? Okay. So we've talked about who, what. Now we're going to talk about where. How do you answer a where question? Where means a place. Where are you now? You are in school now. Where is a place? Okay? So it can be your house, school, at the pool. As long as it's a place, in the car, at the movies, it's a place. Where means that they're asking for a place. Where are you going? Oh, we're going to play. Where did you go? Okay. Oh, I went to my grandmother's house. It's a place. So the question from the story that I have that I'm gonna ask you to answer is, where did the wolf go? Remember, the story introduced the wolf, and it said some things, some places that he went. And if you don't remember all the places, that's okay. Just tell me one place that the wolf went. Yes, he went to the pig's house, right? So tell me in a full sentence. The wolf went to the pig's house, okay? So some other places that the wolf went, remember he went to the donut shop, and then he went to the hot dog stand, and then he went to go get pizza, and all the places were closed, right? Or they wouldn't let him in. So then he walked around and he found the pig's house. Okay, so the wolf went to the pig's house. Okay, where did the wolf go? Where means a place. And the place in this story, to answer my question, is the pig's house. You answered with the pig's house. That house is a place, okay? Understand? So here are the 4 places that the wolf went inside the story. But remember, he went to different houses, right? He went to all 3 houses, right? Okay, so that's how you answer a where question. Okay? All right. Who, what, where. The 4th one is going to be when. So when. You know, if I ask, when did you go to your grandma's house? You're going to tell me, yesterday, 2 days ago, a week ago, last year. Those are times or days. You know, last week is a time. Was it, you know, in the day? Was it at night? Was it, what time or day did that happen? Okay? So, when did the pigs build their house? Did the story tell you when? No, sometimes it doesn't tell you the answer, okay? Sometimes you have to look back and see if you have pictures that show you or help you understand when. So, I don't want a day. I don't want a month. I don't want a year. I want you to look at the pictures and tell me, when did the pigs build the house? Okay? So here's the pictures. Is there something that tells you when the houses were built? Nothing. So what do I do to look at in the pictures? Is it dark? Is the picture dark? No, you know that the house is outside. You're looking at the house from outside, right? Do you see the sun or the moon? No, you don't. You don't see it. But I know because the picture is not dark that the pigs built the house in the daytime, right? They didn't build a house at nighttime. Why? Why is another question that we will talk about later. But if it was dark outside, how are the pigs going to build? How are they going to see? They can't. So you can look at these pictures and notice that the pigs built the houses in the daytime so they had light outside, okay? So when did the pigs build the house? During the day, not at night, okay? So that's how you answer when. When is a time answer. Time. Day, night, month, year, doesn't matter. It's a time. As long as your answer is a time, then you're answering appropriately. Okay? All right, next. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about how. We're talking about how to answer the questions that are asked, right? Okay, so how do you answer a how question? How means how many, which would be a number. You're going to answer with a number. If I ask how many pigs were in the story, how many is a number? 3. 3 pigs were in the story. So that's my number to answer my how many question. But if I'm asking how, then that means the way that it happened, okay? So a question for that would be, how did the wolf blow the house down? So you know the houses were standing. How did the wolf break the house down? How? What did he do? He huffed and he puffed and he, right? So you're gonna show me how he did it. Okay? He huffed, puffed, and the house fell down. How did he do it? You're gonna show me how it happened, the way that he did it. Did he? And then, no, he didn't just a little bit, right? He, right? And then the house just fell down. So how, it wasn't a little bit. He huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down, right? So it was big, it was a lot. Okay? So how, you're answering the way that it happened. Okay, so the way that it happened was not just a little bit of air, it was a lot of air, okay? And then you can show me or demonstrate how it happened, okay? So the last one, the last question that we're gonna talk about is why. So why questions are really hard to answer sometimes. But if I'm gonna ask you a question about the story, then you have a little bit of help when you look back into the story, right? Okay, so if a person asks you a why question, that means that they want to know why it happened, the reason that something happened. So my question for this book is, why did the wolf pass out or sleep? Okay, so we remember in the book, the wolf just laying on the floor, right? So why did he fall asleep or pass out or black out? He was just laying on the floor. We don't know what happened, but we can probably know why it happened if we look back. So here's the picture of the wolf. And you can see his tongue's out. He looks wet. Does he look happy? Excited? No. Does he look tired? Yeah, he looks kind of tired to me too. Okay, so why is he tired? Let's go back and look into the story. Okay? Okay, so it says, the starving wolf took a humongous breath, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he huff, 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 puffed, and puff, huff, huffed, and huff, huff, huffed. Okay, so he did a lot of huffing and puffing and breathing, right? Nothing. Nothing. And he probably became tired when he was huffing and puffing and breathing a lot to try to just the house like before, right? So the question asked, why did the wolf pass out? Okay, so after you go back and before you see the wolf, you read what happened. Before the wolf was on the ground, you read back and you see this tells you. And you can think about what happened to make him maybe he looks wet. He looks tired. So why could the wolf become tired if he was just breathing? He probably breathes a lot, right? So if you see a why question, it's a reason for something to happen. So if it's talking about the wolf on the floor, so before that happened, what was the wolf doing? He was huffing and puffing and blowing the house down, right? But not this time. This time the house, let's say, it was built of bricks. Bricks are strong. So he had to breathe and breathe and breathe and nothing happened. So he became tired. Okay? So before the question, why did the wolf pass out? Before he passed out, what was he doing? That's how you're going to answer that question. Sometimes you maybe have to go back into the story and look again to see if it can help you answer the question. That's okay. I would rather you prove it than not answer it the right way. So a why question is asking the reason something happened. So if I ask why, I want to know the reason for that. If you pushed your friend on the playground outside and ask, why did you push your friend? Was that very nice? That was not nice. Why did you push your friend? I want to know the reason for that. What happened before you pushed your friend? Okay? Before the incident happened, I want to know the reason. So a why question, you'll always look back. Look back into the story, look back into what happened, and you look for the answer. Okay? Most of the time, you can prove it. Okay? So today we've talked about many, many questions. We're going to talk more in depth about each question by itself. But just an overview of how to answer the questions today, I want you to understand what each question means. So, if I ask a who question, what is the answer going to be? A person. Who means person, Okay? What means an action or a thing. Where is a place, school, home, you know, in the car. When is a time, okay? It's a time. Was it the day? Was it at night? Was it last year? Was it last month? It's a time, okay? And we'll talk about that later too. And then how? The way that it happened, okay? So if I asked, you know, how the wolf, you know, blew the house down, you're going to show me how, the way that it happened. And then why, which is the hardest, you can typically look back into the story and find the reason before it happened, okay? Okay, good job today, guys. We're gonna go to centers now, so if you don't know where to go, then ask me and I will help you, okay? Thank you.